Guys, Chapter 259 of Jujutsu Kaisen dropped, and Gege X'd my boy Choso. I'm pretty upset about it, and today I want to take a look back at some of Choso's sick moments in his 199 chapter lifespan of Jujutsu Kaisen. Also want to reflect on his role in the narrative thus far. More on that in a second. Alright, Choso first appears in Chapter 60 of Jujutsu Kaisen, but we don't actually get to see him fight until Shibuya, when he's watching Gojo beat the hell out of Jogo and Hanami. Looking back on their plan, I think Choso was supposed to help occupy Gojo a little more, but, only really managed to shoot off a couple ineffective piercing bloods. Which I'm not dogging him for. I mean, dude's a range attacker going up against someone who can manifest infinite space between him and a threat. Choso read the room and stayed in his lane, and if anything, I respect it. As a side note, he did get mashed potato brain by Gojo's domain, so... Alright, we got probably one of my favorite fights from Shibuya, Yuji versus Choso. Now, I'll admit it, when I first watched this fight, I was surprised Yuji was getting clapped by Choso. Like most of us, I was ignorant to Choso's greatness at the time. This was an epic fight, especially when they ended up in the bathroom, and Choso plays Yuji hard by still throwing up his blood armor. Also, never in my history of watching anime have I seen someone's finishing move have a panic attack. Like, that's so relatable. Bro is literally me. Alright, finishing up the Shibuya incident, we got Choso versus Kenjaku. And I gotta be real. Choso got bodied in this fight. Yeah, he had some sick moments like propelling himself through the air with blood manipulation or firing off the behind the back no-looker piercing blood, but at the end of the day, bro got bodied. Moving on. Post Shibuya, we see Yuji and Choso exercising some cursed spirits in the subway, but the warrant on Yuji's head brought Choso in conflict with Naoya Zenin. Choso's pretty much getting out-blitzed by Zenin the whole match, but eventually hits him with a supernova, ending the fight. Honestly, I don't remember much from this fight, probably because Naoya is such a flash-in-the-pan villain, and I'm pretty sure he comes back later as a cursed spirit, but honestly looks more like a butt plug in my opinion. Also, after this fight, Yuta circles back and bodies Choso harder than Kenjaku did. Alright, the one y'all been waiting for, next fight, Choso versus Kenjaku 2, Electric Boogaloo. And Choso gets bodied again. Now to be fair, Choso's goal in this fight is only to get Kenjaku to use his domain and burn out his curse technique so Yuki can jump him. Which he does. I mean, Yuki does fail to defeat Kenjaku, and he takes Tengen, but what can you do? It's JJK and all the villains have plot armor. That being said, I am counting this one as a fat fucking dub for Choso. Which brings us to Sukuna versus everybody, including Choso. Now, I don't recall Choso having too many epic moments against Sukuna, but he's pretty much running support for Yuji the whole time. And of course, as we saw in the latest chapter, he sacrificed himself in Sukuna's furnace to save his little brother Yuji. So that's the story of Choso and JJK, or at least the punching and kicking parts of his story. Honestly, it sucked seeing Choso go, but he was living on borrowed time. Dude did fight Gojo, Kenjaku, and Sukuna, so I'm kinda surprised he made it this far. Also, I'm glad he did end up having those two fights with Yuji and Naoya, or Choso might be up there with Jogo as far as unwinnable matches go. When I think of Choso's role in the narrative, Yuji's last words to him sum it up best. You were there for me when I needed you most. He was there for his brother Yuji after Shibuya. When we first see Choso, he's telling his brothers Eso and Kechizu that they're siding with the cursed spirits because it's more convenient, and despite the hesitation from Eso, they align with Kenjaku and Mahito, a decision that will get his younger brothers killed. In his fight with Naoya, it's his responsibility towards his brothers that help him edge the win. Later in Tengen's chamber, he tells Yuki he only sided with Kenjaku because he felt his brothers wouldn't be accepted by human society. He admits he chose the easy way. He admits he chose the wrong way. After Yuki falls to Kenjaku, Choso gets a second chance at life. Not as a death painting, not as a curse, but as a human. This wasn't just a second chance at life, but a second chance not to leave his brother Yuji alone, like he did with Eso and Kechizu. Ultimately, Choso was there when Yuji needed him most. Fortunately, Choso can rest easy, because he didn't leave Yuji alone. After his death, Todo returned from Gege's scrapped idea bin, and I guess him and Yuji are gonna go defeat Sukuna, or maybe not. I really got no idea where Gege's going with it at this point. And that's the story of Choso. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to like down below, and let me know what other topics you may want me to cover in the comments section. See you on the next randograph.